Hello guys, and welcome back to another video. First of all, I'd like to thank you all for subscribing, liking, and some of you that have been sharing my videos. I really do appreciate it. I did not expect to get the level of appreciation and the amount of views that I got on this video. So I do want to thank you guys again. And today we're going to be discussing and creating this style or type of effect, which you must have seen in the Microsoft Windows 11 screensaver, or the ident that they created, ident or indent, however you want to pronounce it. But it's these multi-layered type cloth that is sort of swirling around. I tried to find a video of it, and for some bizarre reason I actually couldn't even find a video. There was a video on the official Microsoft website. It was this type of screensaver that would pop up, and it was quite flowy. I did find something close to it, but it sort of didn't resemble on the look that I was trying to create. So there's no point me showing you a different video and then creating a different video altogether. So let's get straight to it, guys. This is the animation that I created. I'm going to show you it because this is sort of the viewport preview that's been generated, and it's a lot faster. So as you can see, this is the type of effect that we will be creating. These loads of cloths that are sort of moving about, swirling, and you can create your own backgrounds with this as well, which is pretty awesome. Now I'll show you the viewport, and the reason why I didn't want to show you it here was, as you can see, I subdivided it, and the subdivided preview, you're getting about 3 frames per second, so I didn't want you guys to wait here about 35-40 seconds to not even be able to see a smooth preview. So what we are going to do is we're going to start off with a primitive object, which is going to be a disk, and I'm going to do my favorite thing, which is to turn off the work plane. Press NB on the keyboard to bring up the ground shading lines, and I'm going to also teach you another trick. So this trick is going to be how to keep these two sort of in sync, so that when you move one slider, the other slider respects it. So first, what you want to do is you want to create the disk so it's as quadded or as evenly quadded as possible. You could use remesher and whatnot, but I thought whilst I'm going through this, I can teach you a little trick that I like to use. I'm more focusing on these outer quads, because the inner quads are going to be pinned, so they won't really matter. I think that is okay. Maybe get a few more. There we go. So I like that. What you want to do then is right click on where it says disk segments and go to expressions and set driver. Then click on rotation segments, right click, expressions, set driven relative. Then what will happen is, as I sort of increase this, look at that, it's sort of staying quadded. That's pretty cool. So let's get it to a decent level. I like that. What I want to do now is click on this and create a cloner, which is going to give me multiple clones, but it's not cloning them in the direction that I want. So I'm going to change it from the mode which it's in grid currently. We're going to change it to linear. And then what I want to do is, first of all, I'm going to sort of reduce the separation in Y to about 14, and then I'll change the mode from per step to endpoint. The reason why I'm doing this is per step basically adds on the count, and endpoint sort of keeps the first cloner where it is and the last cloner where it is, and fills in the gap. So I can quickly show you it working. Now, as you can see, it's filling in the middle, but if I had it on per step, it will basically create the cloner on top. So let's switch back to endpoint and let's fill this up a bit. I'm going to use 7. You can use more, take a bit more time, and art direct it in the way you wish. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this, click on the cloner, and then click on vertex map. The reason why I'm putting the vertex map on top of the cloner is because the cloner has all of the clones, and for this to work you need to have it actually on the cloner and not on the child. Also, it won't work if you've got it on render instance. That's from previous my previous knowledge on it. Let me just double check. I know it does cause an issue, but I'm not 100% sure if it'll do it here or not, but I'll have a little try with it with yourselves a bit further on, but I don't want to break anything right now, so I'm just going to keep it on instance. Let's create this a bit bigger. So we want to get this spherical field to encompass all of the clones, as you can see. As long as you can see sort of the spherical field encompassing the top and the bottom, you'll be pretty safe. Then what we want to do is I'm going to use this other handle. That's just to give it a sort of not as big of a fall off, and just adjust its size, because you just want really the main point to be held. I can reduce this a bit more, just making sure the bottom, as you can see, there's more influence on the bottom. That is because if we go into the front view, the spherical field is lower. We can actually center it so it's even, like so. There we go. And now what we want to do is get the magic started. Now we want to click on the cloner, and I'm going to rename it. Try to rename everything if you can. So I don't know why I delete cloner, but cloner cloth. And we want to basically get the cloth tag onto it, the PBD cloth simulation. You can do that two ways. Obviously I've got it up there. You can right click, go onto the simulation tags and click cloth. Place is in create tag and in simulation tags and cloth. So now that we have the vertex map ready on the cloner, we want to click back onto the PBD cloth tag, and then we want to go onto mix animation, and where it says with pins, tick that and drag the vertex map. This is similar to the previous tutorial I showed you on how to create the organic type effect, and the the organic type effect, it was the bubble, the boil growing, or the boil expansion on the surface, which was using the balloon. We can use a similar sort of technique on this project, which will be using the mix animation with pins. Sorry for that, didn't make much sense, but main thing you need to understand is we're going to be using this mix animation. So we've put the map in, the vertex map. Now when we press play, it's going to go wrong, and what's going on here is that it's actually influencing the red portion of it, which is the 100%, and the yellow portion of it, which is 100%, and the red portion, which is 0. We need to invert that, and the nice, simple and quick way of doing it is if we go back into basic and click on this invert, as you can see, it is nicely inverted it for us. Now when we press it, it's going to look like a skirt or some frills on a skirt, which is not what we want. So I'm going to press Control D, or you can go edit and project settings, and we want to go to simulation, and then scene, and let's put this at maybe 250 so that the gravity is inverted, and we've got something nice going on here. Now we get a slight little jump, and that's because of, I believe it's the thickness, and it's the way the mesh acts once it makes collision, which makes it a bit jerky. But we are going to sort that out, and the way we're going to sort that out is if we go back into project settings and go to simulation, I believe this time, and where it says dampening, you can put that up to about 15%, and that will make the cloth move a bit more elegantly. It's still going on. Maybe we can fix it by adding some forces. So let's add a turbulence, and let's press play. We need a bit more frames, maybe about 130. And let's turn the strength up a bit and turn up the scale. This should fix it. Yep, there you go, it's fixed. It's not doing that initial jerk at the start. and already we're getting this nice flowy motion. We're going to add friction, which is going to dampen it a bit more. If you turn up the friction, you'll be able to see. Hopefully it will work in this sense. There we go. It's giving it a bit more of an elegant look. The cloth is moving a lot slowly and a lot nicely, should I say, than going all erratic. So now we've got this type of look. What we can do is we can add another modifier, or what is it called in here? Force. My mind just went completely blank. So we can add another force, a rotational force, and we can just tinker with this a bit and get it so that it's moving a bit differently. You'll notice as well that sometimes when you adjust a parameter, it might not adjust it straight away until it goes back to the start, and I think that's got to do with because it's dumping everything on the GPU, it's computing it a bit differently. Now as I'm pressing play, I'm realizing that this sort of pinch that it does in the middle is a lot bigger than what I'd like. So I'm going to go back into here and I'm going to create this, go back onto this spherical field and make it a bit smaller. Let's press play now. Ooh, slow down quite a bit there. Wonder if that's because of the friction. No, for some reason it shouldn't have slowed down by much. Trying to see what it could be. Let me go into fields. Let's go into remapping. In offset, let's put that to 100. Let's see what happens now. Right, we're back at what we were before, but we need it to be smaller. So let's try that. Oh, that's worked a lot better. Don't worry about this sort of the vertex map and the on the bottom snapping so much, because unless you're going to see the entire scene, you'll be able to hide it. And if you're wanting to sort of eliminate that also, I suggest on turning up your subdivisions on your disk, and that will eliminate it, as it'll have more resolution for the vertex map to grab. But we don't need to mess about with that too much, because it's working for our sake. And then as you can see, it's creating these frills that we had on here. You've got these sort of these lovely curves, and it's creating something similar. Now what we want to do is we want to have a thickness on this, and we don't really know what the thickness is by just looking at it, because even though it's thin, it has created a thickness inside the cloth. If you go into surface, you will be able to see a thickness. So there is a new tool that they bought in 2023.2 which is thickens, but I feel like it's quite slow, or slower than the cloth surface. So for this sake, we are going to use a cloth surface, and on the subdivisions we want to turn it down, and let's bring this thickness up to 1, because I'm going to show you another trick, a similar one to what we did before. Turn the thickness here to 1, and then go to cloth surface and do something similar, which is right click, expressions, set driver, go to cloth, right click, expressions, set driven, relative. And then as we increase and decrease it here, it will also do that in the simulation side on the cloth tag, which makes our life slightly easier. Also, what we want to do is we want to increase the target length from 110 to 120. This will expand the mesh and give it more of this flowy look. So as you can see, it's expanded it and giving it more of this sort of I don't think flowy is the best word, but flowy is what's coming into my head at the moment. So then what we want to do also is in bendiness, we want to turn that up to about 350. Stretchiness we can turn up to about 5. And we've also got friction in here, which we can we don't need to really mess about with that. We can leave that for now. And when we press play, we're going to get these lovely curves. So if I turn off ground shading lines, we'll be able to see it. Also, you're going to see that jittering that's going on, and that's because of the vertex map. But if you increase the resolution, that will be resolved. Also, because we're going to keep our camera around here, it's not too bad. Also, you've got this Fong shading error again. So how we can correct that is click on the Fong tag on the primitive and increase that, and that should smooth it out. And hopefully it should, yeah, as you can see that it's not jittering as it was. It is below here, and that's, like I said, because of the vertex map. If I click on the vertex map, if I turn that off, as you can see, because it's jumping, that is what is causing that issue. But like I said, we're going to be sort of hiding it from camera, and the best way of working when you're doing projects and stuff is, if it's not seen, there's no point really messing about with it. It is actually affecting it a bit there. So what I might just do for the sake of it anyway is turn up the disk segments and just show you guys that it will fix the issue. Oh, we're still having it. Is that because of the intensity? We'll have a quick look now. Yeah, it's got to do with, because there's literally zero fall off to it now. We can sort that out by going into remap and maybe bringing the inner offset a bit down, and that maybe should fix it. Also, I don't think the spherical field is big enough, since we've got more clones in there from last time. And what we can do is we can increase the size. There we go. That should make it sort it out. And now if we press play, fingers crossed, it should stop the jittering. There you go. We're getting a bit, like I said, you'll have a few here and there, but the majority of it, which was at that point, was due to the resolution and the vertex map not being able to pick a particular polygon. So like I said, you can experiment with that on your own time and adjust it. And then if we put on the cloth surface back again, we get this. And did I set the thickness? Yes, I did. And then we're pretty much done. So we have this flowing animation of this cloth, and you can speed it up or slow it down. Bear in mind, it is playing at 14 frames per second, so it is looking a lot slower. But that is, in a nutshell, how you do it. After you've adjusted all these parameters, the turbulence, the friction, the rotation, and if you want to add more forces on, you will get a different result. And I'm going to show you something I created a bit earlier. Actually, yeah, this is the thing that I created earlier, which I showed you guys. This is after it's been cached. And what I'll do is I'll just nick the rendering material, and I'll just attach it to this just so I can show you. I think I'm going to also pinch the sky. I'll pinch the plane as well. Oh. That way I don't need to recreate everything. Go back into here, go to plane. Where is it gone? There it is. And then if I go into Arnold and press play, and then let me pause it from here and skip a few frames. So we are around here. Now you can create lovely backgrounds with this for your laptop or computer or Mac or whatever you're using. If you want to create your own wallpapers, this is the best way to do it. In Arnold, obviously, you are going to get this sort of low resolution to match the preview. But what you can do is if you right click on the cloth, the cloner, and add an Arnold tag to it, which is right click, extensions, and go into the Arnold. I'll just quickly show you now. If you go to extensions, C4D to A, click on Arnold parameter, and you will get this tag here. And then you want to go into subdivision and go to Cat Clark, and as you can see, it smoothed it out. It's giving it more resolution. We can go to a resolution of 2, and we've created something like that. If I press pause and just play it through again, and we've created this lovely flowing Windows 11 style wallpaper. Press play again. You can take it from a different angle, maybe from here, on a lower angle looking up. And as you can see, in a very short amount of time, we've created this lovely effect that Microsoft did in one of their indents for the Windows 11 release. So yeah guys, thank you for watching. Please like, share and subscribe, and just like you did on the previous video, hit that thumbs up. I really do appreciate it again guys for watching my videos and taking out the time to leave me a comment and show me some love. So yeah guys, once again, please do like, share and subscribe, and we will catch you on the next one.